what's up, you guys? It's me, Tristan, and welcome back to another daily reaction. Or this is not a daily reaction video. This is actually my first story time. I just thought of this story and thought it was pretty funny, and just wanted to document it here for my life and for everybody. And it was about the time that I got sent to the principal's office. I've actually been sent to the principal's office 2 times in my life. So the first one, I was in middle school, and the second one, I was in high school. And so I just thought of another one, but that was not a principal. That was a law enforcement. It's not a crazy story. Like, I'm a good kid, so we will get through. Or I think I was a pretty good kid growing up, but I had a little bit of a rebel in me. So the first time that I was sent to the principal's office was in middle school. So I had a iPhone back in middle school, and back then you could choose your wallpaper on them. I think you could always choose your wallpaper on them, but my wallpaper was a photo of Megan Fox in a dress, a white dress. She was fully clothed. It wasn't even like a bikini photo or anything. But for context, I went to a really religious Protestant school, and I had a super strict teacher. And she, dang, I was like such a good kid, but I would always hang out with the bad kids. And there was this one kid that, even though we weren't supposed to be on my phone, I kept letting him like play games on my phone just because he kept asking. And the freaking teacher, like, I remember my heart stopped. She walked down the bus, because we were in a bus. We were on a field trip, and my homie was on the phone, and she snatched it out of his hand. And like, I just knew instantly that she must have seen the wallpaper. And I was just like, I was dead that day. Like, a piece of my inner child died that day because I was so innocent. And man, to those people, that photo of Megan Fox was the devil himself. Like, I, oh, man, I actually blamed the wallpaper all on my dad. I said my dad put it on there. And my dad was totally fine with it too, because he did not care. Even though my parents sent me to very religious schools for education, they were very socially liberal. Like, there was Playboy magazine all over a lot, and like, they just were, my parents were always really liberal, so we always had interesting conversations. So my dad had no problem taking the blame for that. But man, like, I had a 2-hour talk from, so I was sweating off the bus, right? And this teacher pulls me aside, and she was like, "Do you know what was on your phone?" It was like very concerning. And like, I was just sweating. I was ready to cry. I instantly blamed my dad. I was like, I did not put Megan Fox on there. And I think my dad might have actually put her on there for me, because we were all into Transformers. I liked Transformers back then. When I was back in the claws, I was telling him and everybody that I thought Megan Fox was cool. So I think he put it on there for me. So it wasn't even like it was a lie. And then I got sent to the pastor slash principal's office. And man, did they make me feel like I did the worst thing ever. I was bawling my eyes out. They were praying for me. They were asking me, "Do you know what Megan Fox's intentions are with this photo?" And to corrupt young men's minds. And I'm just thinking to myself, I don't even like girls. Like, how did I end up in this situation? Like, being told I'm gonna basically go to eternal you know what for having Megan Fox as my wallpaper. And it was a very traumatic middle school experience, but it was also a growing up experience, and one that I will never forget. And yeah, so that was the first time that I got sent to the principal's office. And the second time that I got sent to the principal's office was in high school. I had a best friend at the time. We'll call him Peter. So me and Peter decide that it's a really good idea to go to school dressed up as the characters from Magic Mike. Man, we were so dumb. So our I went to a Catholic high school, and this is the first time in years. So I was on student council too, and this was the first time in years that we finally convinced the staff to let the students dress up on Halloween. The Catholic schools, they were a little bit chiller than the Protestant schools, like socially speaking, but not this chill. So I was on ASB. We convinced the faculty to allow us to dress in Halloween costumes for the first time ever in modern day history. And so we're allowed to do it on a half day on Friday during a walkathon, which is like a giant fundraiser where we raise money for the school. Which I think Magic Mike would help raise even more money. But that aside, me and my homie Paul, we dress up as Magic Mike. We got the little cufflinks, we got the bow tie, and we go to school. And everyone, I mean everyone, thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. And girls were taking photos with us. Like, but man, could I sense daggers from the women, only women teachers at this religious school. Holy crap, I felt those daggers. And the strictest religion teacher pulls me and my friend Peter aside, having a good time, taking a photo with all the girls in our high school, arms around them, like having a blast, okay? We are having a good time. We deserve it. I graduated valedictorian in my high school, so like I just felt like I deserved to have a little bit of fun considering how academically disciplined I was. So we were just having a blast. Also, the former principal of that school, I really, really don't like you. If you ever see this, he fired a phenomenal teacher. Probably one of the best teachers, and the whole school rallied and protested, and I was there because that was my wrestling coach and we loved him like a father. And so if you're seeing this right now, you are the worst principal, worst faculty I've ever seen, and you fired him out of jealousy. And you could take that with you to wherever because you did that. And so anyways, everyone thought it was funny. I was getting daggers from these religion teachers. Like, literally, I could feel the knives going into the back of my head. And what do we want to call her? Mrs. Applebee's pulls me aside and looks at me and Peter like we are the most disgusting, foul scum on the earth. And she's like, do you know what your intentions are? Like, by dressing up that way? And I'm just like, I start sweating the same way I was in middle school. I'm like, you know what, whatever. If I don't go to UCLA or some great school, or if I don't get a scholarship because I dressed up like Magic Mike, then like screw, like whatever. Like, go ahead, Miss Applebee's, send me to the principal's office. So Miss Applebee's sends me and Peter to the principal's office, to the boys' dean. And he basically tells us this is wrong and gives us a little slap on the wrist, but secretly he thought it was freaking hilarious. His only concern was, did our parents know? And yeah, both of our dads and moms knew that we dressed up as Magic Mike and thought it was hilarious. So after he knew that, he even talked to my dad on the phone, I think. Mr. Bruner just looked at us and he's just like, we'll talk about this on Monday, shoot us off. And we never talked about it on Monday. So Miss Applebee's, loosen up. Also, there was another teacher, all of these were the religion teachers, by the way. Let's just call her Mrs. Sanchez. Miss Sanchez, you were also very stuck up, but I saw you check in. I don't want to say that because we were underage, but you were stuck up and it was a funny costume, and I saw you laughing. You should have just joined in with us instead of joined Miss Applebee's, who always kills the fun. And Miss Applebee's, China and McLean does come from a good place. I want to say you don't always come from a good place. I want to say sometimes you come from a power tripping place, and that's wrong. So I really hope that my former high school loosens up and yeah, because I think a lot of people do want God and deserve God, but it's these strict power tripping like weirdos that turn people off to it. But luckily, I have my own relationship with God. So that's a story time of the time that I got sent to the principal's office twice. Even though I graduated valedictorian, Mr. Milky also just didn't like me, who was the principal. So I think it was even more of a punch to his ego that I like hated him and I still graduated at the top of my class. Also, during my valedictorian speech, if you guys want to hear a story time, the speech that I had to get approved by Miss Applebee's, I tore it up and I had my own speech in my pocket and I read that one and people loved it. So I could do a story time about that if you guys want someday. But yeah, I will see you guys in our next. If you guys want more story times, this is the first and only story time I've done. I could do more. But other than that, enjoy our daily pop culture reaction videos, and I appreciate you guys.